Let's talk about the second part of the product, the backlog. The most important part of the backlog is the stories itself. Backlog is generally a big list of it could be issues in general terms, or it can be user stories in agile terms. Um, we will go through what a user story is and epics and everything in the separate agile tutorials. But for now, think of user stories as different issues. The way the backlog is organized is four different verticals. So you have your versions. I can expand here and I can see all the versions. And I can filter based on version. So if I click MVP, it'll show me all the issues related to MVP. If I click 1.0, it'll show me all the issues with respect to 1.0, 1.1, and so forth, future. Similarly, it'll show me all issues that do not have a version associated to it, which currently is none. I generally like to see the version I'm working on. So MVP would be the version I'd be working on, and thus I would keep my backlog filtered to that. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll go back to all issues. The other pane you can see is epics. Again, epics for now you can think of as a category in which most user stories are. So for example, a category of implementation would be sign up login. So if I click this, it will show me all the stories that are related to sign up and login. Again, it will go through multiple versions since I have not filtered based on version. So it shows me that create admin account, create organization, create client, organization autocomplete, and these things are all different features associated to sign up and login. Similarly, security has its own epic, scheduling, and so on and so forth. For the purpose of the discussion, I'll again move to all issues. Now, epics are generally created and handled by Scrum Masters or product owners. Similarly, versions are generally handled by product owners and Scrum Masters. So in normal scenarios, you would not have to create a version or an epic. But let's say if you did, you would just click Create Version, enter a version name, and a date for it for start and release, and you create it. And it will create it on the left pane. For epics, it will be the exact same process. You click Create, create an epic, epic name, and a summary of it. The third pane is our whole backlog itself. If I click an issue, it'll show me a summary of the issue on the right side. This is the fourth pane. To help with spacing, I generally like to close the epics and the versions tab and focus on what I need to do. Click on an issue and I can see the summary here. I can see what the status is, the priority, components, labels, affected versions, fixed versions, epics. Again, you do not have to be concerned with all of these items since we're not using all of them, but eventually as the product progresses and we see that our product is getting very complicated, we might need to use these different features as well. Reporter is a person who created the issue or the story. Assignee is someone who takes ownership of making sure the story goes to complete. Similarly, we have a description. Currently, for simplicity, we're breaking down the description into two parts: a user story and acceptance criteria. These will be explained in greater detail in the separate Agile tutorials on what each of these mean. Then we naturally have our comments, any assets that we have uploaded, and any subtask associated to it. And that's about it for the backlog. Another thing that we want to make sure is the navigation with respect to the story. This will just help with getting to the right place in the story faster. A neat thing about the backlog is the arrangement is key. So what that means is an item can be moved up or down, like so. The higher the item in the backlog, the higher priority it is, and the whole team is generally aligned in tackling the backlog from top to bottom. You would notice that over here you see a dash in this box. That's story points. This is another key item that will be explained in the Agile tutorial on what story points are and how they help with the backlog. Another key item of a backlog is a sprint. I can create a sprint, put items in a sprint by dragging them into the sprint, and once I click Start Sprint, it assumes it starts counting the time and how long it takes us to tackle each of these issues. Sprints and the concept of sprints and how they help is again explained in the Agile tutorial. For now, we'll just move it back and delete the sprint. Another key item about the backlog view is the quick filters and the search box here. Search box helps finding things fast. So for example, if I wanted to look about approval, so I can write it over here and it shows it to me over here. Let's say I wanted to do a deep search. That means search through inside each story for a keyword. I would use the overall search. So I would say approval over here, or let's say organization. And it'll go through all the issues and find the word organization. This is similar to using the issues and search for issues option. Quick filters is something that again can be set. We can create as many quick filters as we require by going to the board settings and set the query for the quick filters. Again, these are more advanced topics and I can help with them for now, so you do not have to be worried about them. If you do have any asks for quick filters and it does help you, just let me know and I'll create them for you. These are simple query-based filters. With that, I think we have come to the end of Backlog. If any questions, just let me know.